Hey everyone, finally bringing you another thrift store Bible review. Today I've got a Cokesbury Gift and Award NRSV Bible. You can see here on the spine, it includes study helps, a dictionary / concordance, and it's a black letter text. And if you're not familiar with Gift and Award Bibles, these are something you'd use like the church is doing like confirmations or celebrating high school graduations, those type of events. Uh, these are the kinds of Bibles they may give out. They're inexpensively made, and given that, there's going to be some trade-offs in terms of quality, which we'll get into. I bought this one off eBay for $2 plus $4 shipping. Primarily just was curious and was buying something else from the seller, so I decided to get this too. And it's a nice Bible. It's got some real shortcomings in terms of the quality, but it's not bad. So first, looking at the outside, this is the biggest shortcoming is the cover. And this is typical with these kinds of Bibles. It's just really thin, almost paper thin. It's made to look like it's like a leather Bible, but this isn't even a good faux leather. It's just a very thin, plasticky type of thing that's going to fall apart and crease real easy. And that's not unique to this. I'll show you, some examples. We're going to be looking at this a bit more to compare it with. This is a Hendrickson King James Gift and Award Bible. Same thing, very thin. And I also have here, this is a Book of Common Prayer, and it's got a crease right where that cross is. And, that's what happens. It kind of wants to stay that way, and you got to work it back, and eventually it'll just rip and fall apart. But the other thing that is from the outside, it's not a huge deal, but it just looks cheap, is the gilding. It's this very dull gold. It's like a fake gilding. I don't think that looks very nice. Here's a New Oxford Annotated Bible, and you can see the difference between there's a good shiny gilding and the dull gilding. I think it would have been better if they had just done a red or some other color, or just not done a gilding at all, which is how that Hendrickson is. It's just plain. And the last thing is there's no stitching. It is just a glued binding, so the binding will not hold up too well over time. And I kind of expect that with the Bible like this. However, I noticed, here we go, on the Hendrickson King James, you can see that is a sewn binding. How about that? So this, the cover's not going to hold up, but the pages are going to, binding will hold up. You could almost, that could be a rebind candidate perhaps if you liked it well enough. I don't think I would, but I definitely wouldn't rebind this one because of the lack of a sewn binding. But with all that said, it's what's inside that counts. And I think it's a good Bible inside. Really good, actually, for a gift and award Bible. We'll see. I'll zoom in a little less. There we go. The contents gets into, here's some of the study helps they're talking about on the spine. We've got, history, we've got authority of the Bible, major themes, canonization and translation, how to study the Bible. There's something about geography of Palestine. There's a lot of good information in here. So it will be if you look at authority of the Bible, it gives some different ideas about what that means. So, some folks may not like that. It's got different theories and ideas about that rather than just picking one. Major themes in Scripture. I know another thing that jumped out at me, it gets into English translations of the Bible, or English versions. We can see like the King James Bible of 1611 is one of the masterpieces of English literature. So on and so on. In spite of its rank as a treasure of the English language and the love it has stirred for over 350 years, it also has its weaknesses. And it talks about the Greek and Hebrew texts of the time used by the translators were not as good as the texts we know today. So, of course, any King James onlyists are not going to agree with that. And it talks about the superior text they had at the time they did the Revised Standard Version and that type of thing. So, yeah, probably more conservative Bible readers wouldn't like that, but I don't think conservative Bible readers are going to be reading an NRSV published by United Methodist Publishing House. So, anyways, if you have one, of course, you need to decide for yourself whether you agree or disagree with what it says, like you do with any study Bible. So here's the first page of Genesis, and yeah, it's a nice layout, double column. We have translator's notes at the bottom, no references. A little bit of ghosting, not too bad. Nice bright paper, very readable. So this could be a good car Bible or spare Bible to keep in a room or in the office. Yeah, it's a nice layout. And then at the back, we have some maps. They're okay. They're not anything special, but they're not bad. They're color. So, and we have this is the concordance, this is the dictionary / concordance as they call it. And I personally would not call it a concordance. They call it a dictionary / concordance. But, for example, you look at that entry on Rabbi, a title of respect for a Jewish teacher or spiritual leader. Jesus was often addressed as Rabbi, John chapter 1, verse 38. I mean, that's good, but you're only giving us one verse where it's used. So not what I would call a concordance. But, yeah, it's helpful. It's a nice dictionary. Just to do a little comparison, I'm going to bring the Hendrickson back and show you, zoom in a little bit on the text. The Hendrickson has a smaller font. You see, but it has a more opaque paper. In fact, there's really no ghosting on this Hendrickson King James. So there's the trade-off there. Smaller font, better paper, larger font, a little bit of ghosting. Personally, I probably prefer this. The ghosting is quite reasonable, so I don't think it's a problem. And one other one I want to compare it with just for the heck of it. This is another Cokesbury. This is an older one. It's a Revised Standard Version. I don't know how old it is, but it probably predates the NRSV. And I can show you a little comparison with it too. About the same font size, similar layout. The paper's yellowed, so I don't know how it was when it was new, but obviously this is nicer. It's also newer. I not sure exactly when this was printed. I think it was sometime in the 90s from what I've gathered online. But you can see here, again, see that huge crease? Exactly what I'm talking about. This is the same thing. It's a very thin kind of gift and award cover. So, but it's still in one piece, and it's quite old. Yeah, I hope that gives you some ideas of what to expect with a gift and award Bible. If you get them for a low price and it's something you think you can use as a spare, it's not a bad deal. You'll notice here, I meant to show, there's a little scratch here in the bottom. That has happened since I got it. It was up against a wall, and the white paint transferred onto here from a block wall that's painted in the basement. And so yeah, it didn't take long to destroy the cover, did it? Of course, you can fix that very easily with a Sharpie, right? And hey, that's the great thing about a gift and award Bible like this. We don't have to baby it. Read it, beat it up till it falls apart completely. Then you tape it up a little bit and do it again. So yeah, I hope you found this helpful. Like I say, find one cheap. You want it, grab it. Just don't spend a lot of money on it because it's not going to last too long. If you have any questions or comments or anything to share, please do so. And if you want to see more thrift store Bibles, I don't update too frequently, but I try to do a couple a month right now. Subscribe, and yeah, pretty soon here I'm gonna have some new Bibles to share. They're gonna be pretty special, so look forward to that. Thanks for watching.